I bring you warnings from Washington. You know, 502 passed. They said it was legalization. We have exchanged criminal prohibition for an economic one. They have grabbed the power of the plant away from the people. There is no home growing unless you are a medical patient. If you're a licensed grower into the state system, you can't even sample your own product. This is an iron grip on cannabis that we have got to move past. We have got Initiative 648 in Washington this year. It's going to legalize home growing at the medical limits for anyone 21 and older without tax, fee, license, permit, and most importantly, registry. If it's a legal product, you shouldn't have to go on a government list in order to have it. Okay, we fixed a couple other things too, thank you. Right now, under 502, if you're under 21, hey, I'm over 21, it's legal, I can have an ounce. If you're under 21, you go to jail. The first step, the first arrest, should be a ticket. If you're under 21, over 18, you go see the judge. If you're under 18, you go with your parents and figure out what's up. Maybe your folks don't know what's going on. But if we're going to have it legal, we don't want to be arresting young people and putting them into jail with thugs and criminals and molesters when we need just to get them into court with their parents. We're going to fix it. So I got to tell you, last legislative session, when 502 passed, they said, oh, we won't affect medical at all. We won't affect medical. The first thing the liquor board tried to get shoved in there was to put medical into a system that does not even exist yet. This is problematic because so many patients depend on their medicine. I see what's happening in Colorado. They've mixed the systems there. I think that's a bad move. Rec should be recreational, medical should be medical. When patients need their medicine and go into a place and find the rec users have bought it all up or driven the prices up so high that they can't afford their medicine, what have we done? We have got to do this right. In the coming 10 years, this country is going to be legal, but what will that legalization look like? Will you be able to grow for yourself, or will you be forced to go pay an exorbitant tax and face arrest if you don't? Or should you be able to grow your own, share with your friends and family, just like you do the bounty of your garden? I know this is Oregon. This is the Global March. Tell your friends in Washington, sign 648. And something else, you know, we're going to get some video out of today. This is kind of like, and the march, it's a great piece for about a 30-second soundbite on the news. What happened in Washington was our lobbyists claiming to represent our industry, they were representing their own special interests. Our people wore red shirts. We sat in the legislature upstairs in the gallery. At the end of the session, right up to the last few minutes, they couldn't decide on how to kill medical. We stopped them. And we stopped them by not just getting the soundbite and the video. We registered patients to vote. We got patients that had never talked to their legislators before to write them emails, make phone calls, go into their offices and put a face on medical. There were legislators that said, oh, 90% of the medical people are fakes. They're just rec users that just want to smoke pot. Well, I want to tell you something. I'm also here to speak for patients like William Kurtz, who has a degenerative hereditary disease. And I got to tell you, 90% of the patients that I know in Washington don't get out. They can't afford to get out. They are physically unable to get out. They are too ill to get out. So we need to put our face in front of the legislators. We've got to make sure that they know that medical is legitimate, that recreational is not harmful. But the two must go ahead separately to protect the best interests of the state and of the people and of the patients. Make sure you're registered to vote, sign these initiatives, and before we get to the vote, start on your legislators. I'm a voter. I live in your district. I voted for you. You represent me, and medical makes a difference to me and my community. Tell them what the law should be. Don't sit around and wait to vote on it. You are the government. The government is not you. Make them change the law to represent what we want for cannabis.